can't see me, or maybe not that well, but it's 5:15 in the morning. We're gonna drive into Michigan, take a look at some mini trucks. Well, we made her. This place is definitely in the sticks. Holy. Doug's Trucks. This is insane. This guy's driveway is so wild. I mean, look at this. It goes up there. Jesus. Alright, almost there, and see what happens. Alright, so I'm here at Doug's Trucks in Lapeer, Michigan. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'm going to buy that Suzuki, I think. It's pretty clean. Only has 40 kilometers on it. So, what is that, like high 30s? Or no, low 30s miles, 30,000 miles. The reason why I chose this one ultimately is that it's really, really clean. And I think I'd rather have something that's really clean. So he's got a lot of nice trucks. That Mitsubishi is really nice. The only thing that I don't like about this Suzuki is ground clearance. The springs are kind of on the low side, so if you're going to be off-roading, that could be a problem. But I don't plan on doing too much of that. This Mitsubishi, when I got here, was sold. Guy was getting ready to pay for it. He had to go to the bank or whatever. This one's pretty nice too. It's fuel injected, which is really, really nice. You know, fuel injection really is the way to go. But honestly, if you have a problem with any of the electronics in fuel injection, it might be kind of difficult to get that thing ripping again. The other thing too with this one was the cab was a little, or the interior was, you know, you got a tear in there and stuff like that. When you look at any used vehicle, it doesn't matter if it's a mini truck like this or anything. You can tell the way it was treated and driven depending on how it looks on the inside and the outside. If you see a lot of wear on stuff on the inside, someone was hopping in and out of it all the time. So this Suzuki's really nice, but it's out of my price range. I'm not spending 6,500 balloons on something like this. But this HiJet's pretty nice. I might take it for a spin. Alright, so I'm ripping his little trail here. This is on my phone, so it's going to be mega shaky cam. I'm in his old Daihatsu. I feel like the Daihatsu feels different off-road than the Suzuki. I feel a little bit, almost feels a little bit more planted to me. And the Suzuki seemed fine too, but I don't know, there's something with this Climber. It feels a little bit better to me off-road. I'm in third. This one's got a 5-speed, which is kind of nice. This one runs good too. I don't know, they're all bulletproof. I mean, you can get any brand. Fun little trucks, that's for sure. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them as far as playing off-road. Some are going to be better than others, but oh, I don't think we're going to go down there. Dude's got some killer trails here. I mean, it ain't no side-by-side. You're not going to be doing 50 miles an hour, but still pretty fun. I don't know, I like that Suzuki, I think, better though as far as comfort. This thing's a little Spartan, but it's still pretty nice. Alright, I'm putting this thing down so I can drive. So yeah, he's got a lot of them. Doug's Trucks, you can find them on Facebook. I'll put a link down below. He's got a fairly nice selection. So, but yeah, I think the Suzuki's going to work out. It's probably the lowest mileage truck here. I don't know, this Suzuki's pretty low, I bet. This thing's really clean. Yeah, this one's got 30,000 K, so a little bit less, but yeah, I don't know.
Where you going? Cookie. Cookie, you like your new mini truck? What's up, mini truck? Oh, yeah.
Elle just got back. About 2.5 hours. Got to unload old mini truck. Give her a wash. Get the Michigan dirt off it. Give her a good shakedown, maybe. Take a look at everything. Shout out to Doug's Trucks. Nice guy. Definitely would recommend checking out his stuff. Best way to dry off stuff, leaf blower, hillbilly style.
Hey, look at your mini truck. What's up, mini truck? Okay, Pip. Come on. Oh, yeah.
All right, well, we cleaned up the mini truck a little bit. These tires are terribly loud on the road, so I think what I'm going to do eventually is get rid of these and keep them as snow mud tires and get something that's a little bit more mild-mannered for riding around on the yard and doing work and stuff. So now that it's clean, I can kind of look it over good, and I think I might even do a what to look for when you're buying a mini truck. I think it might help out people. I don't know how much interest there are in these things, but they're pretty cool if you got some property to utilize them, and if you have trails or something like that where you can rip. These things are fun. It's like a UTV essentially, but it's limited in certain circumstances as far as maybe one of the capabilities I think that UTV would be better than this would be like speed and performance and stuff like that. Come in, Jim. Jim. Oh, yes. You can see it's perfect to haul your dog around. So the reason I chose this one ultimately, I really wanted a Daihatsu, which is Toyota owns them. I feel like the Daihatsu is much better off-road than the Suzuki. This thing is not going to see a lot of off-road work. It's just going to be around my property and my farm. So it's going to be doing chores and stuff more than wheeling. I just like the Daihatsu. I feel like it's a better product as far as off-road and stuff goes. I hear good things about the Suzuki. Some of the one big negative thing is ground clearance with the Suzuki. You can see the leaf springs are under the axle, where the Daihatsu, they're actually over the axle, so it gives you a little bit more capacity.
Oh, hello, bud. Yo, you seem to be enjoying your mini truck. That's good. I'm glad you like it. Glad you like it. We'll go on a little adventure one day, okay? You and me, bud.
But yeah, this one is pretty nice. Frame's clean. You know, I looked it over pretty good when I was at Doug's Trucks, and he gets nice stuff regardless. All his trucks are good. You know, some are a little bit more used than others. Like he had a couple of dumps, and the dumps you could definitely tell were, you know, worked pretty hard. But that's what you do with a dump truck. So this one wasn't used that much. I mean, it's got 43,000 km, kilometers to miles, but I think that's like 26,000 miles or something, and that's pretty accurate. If you look at all over the truck, you don't see a lot of high wear anywhere. I mean, I was really having to hunt for rust spots and stuff, and the only one I really found was up here, which can be touched up real easy. But to give this applies to just about any vehicle, but you want to, when you're giving a vehicle a once over, especially something like a cab over like this, you need to look at all the gaskets, the gasket surfaces on the windshield, and if you can find like water intrusion or bubbles forming, that's usually a bad sign. That means the truck was left outside much of its life. And what happens is it sits outside, the rainwater starts getting past these gaskets and it builds up rust, and then things just start getting wrecked. So that was one of the first things I looked for when I was taking a look at these trucks that he had. And most of them were really good. I mean, some had some rust along the sides of the windows, but this one was it really impressed me for the year. This is a 95, close to a 96. I think it was made in December of 95. But the other things you can look for, telltale signs of heavy use, is wear and tear on pedals. That goes for cars too. If you see a lot of rub marks at the bottom, especially something that has a stick or manual transmission, that means someone was doing heavy clutching, heavy shifting, probably in high traffic areas, stuff like that, like if you're in a city or something like that. So I don't know. I mean, it's possible maybe a farmer owned this. I think it was interesting when I flipped open this visor, I found this packet of some kind of seeds or something, or poison. I don't know what the hell this is, but there's some paperwork in here. I might do some Google Translate, or I have a couple buddies in Japan, maybe they can help translate some stuff. But I really wouldn't be surprised if this vehicle was owned by someone that maybe lived in the country or was a farmer or something like that, and just used this to get into town, maybe to pick up stuff for the farm. But the one other thing that I really like, and all mini trucks are like this, the reason I like the Suzuki is the actual seat cushions come off, and you get access, right inside here. You can check the alternator, the air box is here. I'm going to pop that off here later. When I popped this thing open, all I saw was like dust and nothing spooky. Like the overflow bottle had the right amount of coolant in it, and on the other side you can get to the oil. The oil looked nice and clean. Yeah, I was pretty impressed by that. So no rust on shock towers. That was a big one for me. Again, it's just you need to blow it out with an air gun or a vacuum, just vacuum all this stuff out. But I was pretty impressed with how clean this was for the year. Put a new battery in. I like that they used an interstate battery. Those are pretty decent. You generally want to look at a vehicle and see how straight it is, the lines and stuff, and I didn't see too many dents or horrific stuff, and the interior was pretty nice. Again, you look in the corners for water damage and stuff like that, and I didn't see any. So again, you can just pull the seats right out, which is really neat. Some of the other Suzukis, like the whole seat kind of comes with it, the back of it. And that's, in my opinion, kind of a pain in the ass. I like how this is just the cushions that come off. So, but, ooh, even got some leftover Japanese washer fluid in there. So, yeah, fairly clean, just dusty. Like, I was feeling all the hoses. You want to go over hoses and kind of press them and the wires and stuff and see how pliable things are. And you can find out right away if, it's had a super hard life. If it was left outside in weird conditions, a lot of times hoses get dry and they can crack. So when I popped this, I was pretty impressed. I mean, there's a little bit of oily residue on the valve cover, probably just from oil changes and stuff like that. But, the intake and stuff is really clean. So, and the belts were good and tight, not too bad. So yeah, I was pretty impressed with that. This one also came with the manual and the original toolkit, which I thought was kind of neat. So very no frills, but that's what you want when you're buying one of these. Let's set up the tripod, pop off these. They look like 13 millimeter, and we can get a better view at the engine. drag you guys in here a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, looks really good. Easy to get to the starter. Yeah, these hoses look good. Yeah, looks really good. These boots look good. I did not want something that was going to be ragged out. I mean, I just didn't want that. It's awful. So I feel like it's worth spending a little bit more money or finding a reputable guy that's selling them, like Doug, and he's a straight shooter. He's not going to sell junk. But if you're new here, I appreciate the views. Consider subscribing. I'm going to get some more videos of this thing going. We'll probably do lift kit of some sort. Raj is super excited. My old man, he can't wait to see this thing. So I know he's going to love it. But yeah, so we're going to do definitely wheels, tires, probably some kind of hitch. We'll fabricate that. But yeah, if you're interested in that kind of thing, maybe consider subscribing. And I really appreciate the views, and thanks for watching.